to this special edition of Hustle Points. As you know, I'm Jasmine Hankerson, and I'm with Central Florida Future sports editor Ryan Gillespie. And today we're going to preview the UCF spring game, which is this Saturday, April 12th at 2 p.m. So I have a couple questions for you, and then we're going to take a couple questions that we got from Twitter, okay?
All right, cool. Let's do it.
All right, so which quarterback should we be most on the lookout for in this game?
You know, it's kind of interesting. We came into the spring, and, quarterback position since Bortles went to the draft is a little undecided. Those of us that saw camp last year, Justin Holman was kind of the guy that really stuck out, besides Blake Bortles, as, maybe the heir apparent. Coming to spring, Holman didn't really meet the expectation that, that I had. Pete DeNovo, looked better than I thought he would. George O'Leary wanted to name a starter going into the spring game. He's looking to do that after the spring game now. So I really think it'll be an important game. So it's really, I think, a two-horse race between DeNovo and Holman. And I think it's pretty close right now. It's hard to say who's the leader in the clubhouse. Okay.
So what can fans expect to see from this game?
You're going to see a lot of guys that are fighting for jobs. Under center we just talked about, you have at least two guys, maybe a third freshman, Tyler Harris, getting in the mix. Also, looking to compete for jobs. On the offensive line, two new tackles with Michael Campbell and Chester Brown in the starting lineup. Joey Grant's out with an injury, so I think Tariq Cook's probably going to slide over there for the spring game. He's been playing right guard. And defensively, this is the stereotypical UCF team. It's a very good defense, very experienced. Last year it was kind of the offense that carried the load, but it looks like this year it's going to be a more experienced defense, led by Terrence Plummer, Clayton Geathers, Brendan Alexander. They're back and they're really strong this year.
I know you've been to some of the spring camp drills, practices, and things like that. So what have you noticed in spring camp that you think might translate into this game that they've been practicing so far?
This offensive line, it's young. They moved Torian Wilson from left tackle to left guard. Michael Campbell's huge. He's like 6'7", 285 pounds, but he's really athletic, and that's kind of the theme of this offensive line. They're really athletic. They get up the field and they block well in the running game. They're still working out the kinks up front as far as chemistry goes and things like that. But that's something that I'm interested to see, in live game action, how they handle, in a defense that's pretty good and is going to be, giving them all they can handle. And then defensively, I just want to see if this defensive line, they've been talking about the pass rush all spring. Last year, that was kind of the Achilles heel. A lot of that was due to injury, but I'm curious if they can shore up that defensive line. There's a couple new pieces coming in the summer, that were in the recruiting class. So, a lot of these guys are fighting for jobs and fighting for spots in the rotation, even if they might be in the starting lineup today. That doesn't mean they will be, come the regular season.
We got a couple storylines going here. So how confident do the new starters, I know there's a lot of seniors that left, a few seniors that left, so how confident do these new starters look in the positions that they're assuming?
Michael Campbell and Chester Brown are two of the new starters. Torian Wilson, like I said, slid inside to guard. Chris Martin graduated. And they look pretty good. They still need work, and, they've only been starting for 4 weeks, so there's only so much you can expect from them from day one. And they look pretty good. I think they'll be fine. William Stanback, who everybody knows, he's in the starting lineup this season for Storm Johnson, who left for the draft. He looked good early in camp. He kind of fell off a little bit, but it's just kind of a nagging injury situation. I think he'll be fine as well. And defensively, the guy that really has kind of stood out to me is Shaquille Griffin, playing as the third corner, which is kind of a starter by default. He's looked pretty good. He's a big corner. He's 6'1", 210 pounds. I'd look for him in this season, kind of filling that role Sean Magg filled last season.
Okay, so we do have one Twitter question, and EME Solo on Twitter asks, do we have any idea how much time each QB is going to get? Who is going to be running with the ones?
Do we know how much each is going to get? No, because throughout the spring it's been, one day is Pete DeNovo day, the next day is a Holman day. Tyler Harris gets reps every now and then. But I think the spring game is going to be, a pretty even fight as far as you might see DeNovo out there first, but Holman will definitely get in there. I think the reps will be pretty even. I don't know if there's a leader in the clubhouse. It's so back and forth. One day DeNovo looks bad and Holman looks good, and then you come back the next day and it's the complete opposite. So I think this game's going to be really important as far as that goes. I would guess it's going to be even. Who's going to be out there first? I have no idea. I'd probably say DeNovo, just judging by how things have been going lately, but at the same time, that doesn't really mean much. I think overall, this game's going to go a long way in deciding who wins this battle, and it could go a long way in deciding how the season ends up, just because of how important the quarterback position really is.
Well, I know I'm excited now. Again, the game is this Saturday at 2 p.m. Thank you so much, Ryan. I'm Jasmine Hankerson, CFF Sports.